Continue to follow the escalating tensions between the United States and North Korea. It has certainly been a war of words between both countries this week. President Trump said North Korea will be met with, quote, fire and fury if they make any more threats. Meanwhile, North Korea says it is days away from finalizing plans to launch missiles toward the U.S. territory of Guam. To get more perspective, I'm joined now by Colonel Dean Smittle, a local military analyst, author. You've written books on military analysis of situations such as this. First things first, what I'd like to get to, how seriously should the United States be taking these threats from North Korea? We've heard varying degrees. We spoke with Senator Portman yesterday, who told us very seriously, but Rex Tillerson said everything's under control, don't worry. Where are you in this spectrum?
Take it very seriously. This guy is a bona fide nutcase. He's a second leader in that country, inherited the actual position from his father, who was just as bad as he is. The problem is you have in North Korea, it's such a closed society, we don't have any way of getting information in and out because of the security there, and other than what we throw across the airways and he responds to on his particular new TV. So this guy should be taken seriously.
Okay. President Trump has said people should be confident in how he reacted, and even said that maybe his fire and fury remarks weren't tough enough. What's your take on that?
I think he's correct. The only thing these people understand of his ilk is brute force. And he has got his missiles all tuned up and ready to roll and throw 4 missiles at our base on Guam, Anderson Air Force Base. I've been through Guam several times, and it's just a small island there, but we also recently launched a war exercise using B-1B bombers from Guam in coordination with the Japanese and the South Korean Air Force. So I think that's what got him kind of riled up in the beginning, is the fact we're conducting exercises there annually with all those weapon systems, and that made him a little bit nervous.
Colonel, what do you make of the specificity of the threats? That the missiles there will be 4 of them. They'll fly over Japan. They will land near the Guam coastline in 17 minutes and 45 seconds. What do you make of all of that?
I think he's grandstanding. He wants to be on the world stage, seen as a world leader. He has a nuclear capability now, along with many other nations across the globe. So you have to take this fellow seriously. He's miniaturized a nuclear warhead. So you have to consider that when he launches those missiles, if he does, towards Guam, they may fall off the coast maybe 15, 20 miles, but the fact is that they may not have the accuracy that he needs yet. That may have to be a technology to be developed. So you have to think, well, will they hit Guam or not? And that's the unknown question here. Is he going to do that? If he launches those 4 missiles, that's an active war, because Guam is a U.S. territory.
I have 2 more questions. We have about a minute left.
Yes.
Should the people of Guam be concerned? A lot of them have been really cool about this.
They've heard these threats before. They're kind of laid back about it. But what you have to look at is those missiles are launched from North Korea. They cross over Japan into that area. Now here recently, we recently deployed a THAAD system, Terminal High Altitude Anti-Missile System, to Japan and also to Guam. So now those anti-missile systems, THAAD, can take down a certain number of missiles. But if you launch a salvo of missiles that way, THAAD may not be able to stop all those missiles. So when that occurs and you have casualties, you're going to have one heck of a problem.
One heck of a problem, and you alluded to my final question. What are we looking at long range if there is fire and fury as a response?
You're looking at the fact that we have positioned forces in place. There's USS Harry Truman Carrier Task Force Group up there now. We're moving 2 more task force groups in the area, and we have surveillance over that system via satellite. We can see those guys when they walk out the door and smoke a cigarette from 750 miles. So we're watching that area very closely. Do we see any massive buildup along the border, any unusual activity from North Korea? We're going to have to move in and maybe do, as the President alluded to, a preemptive strike to stop those missiles from being launched.
All right, Colonel Dean Smittle, thank you for your perspective today. We really, really appreciate it.